Hello everybody, this is ProbablyRed. Um, I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel where I read the Eternal Lore with you. We'll be kind of experiencing it for the first time together. I'm interested in Eternal Lore because I really like the game, and the lore is one of the big factors that keeps me coming into the game. And I don't know, and it's a side note, this chapter 41, is especially important because it kind of brings us to not necessarily the crossroads, but because I feel like Trials of Grodov was kind of like the crossroads, and this is just showing what path they seem to be taking. Direwolf Digital. I'm not saying it's the wrong path. I feel like it definitely helps the game in a certain way, that they've decided to leave out the campaign this time, and potentially are leaving out the campaign for this foreseeable future. It does strengthen aspects because they're able to focus on the aspects of the game that keep the audience coming back, which is the gameplay, and the gameplay is great. And I'm not specifically saying the Whispers of the Throne cards are, hits or not. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about that there is still story and lore to this game that can be enjoyed. And I think this is a great way to do it. They provide us with lore the entire time. And when you put yourself in a position where you can be enveloped in that lore, and then you go back and you see the cards and you play with the cards, and they have those synergies and they have that flavor built into the card, then and at least from my perspective, you can really start enjoying the card game in a new way. So let's start chapter 41, and I'll go back and I'll do the chapters that I missed, and I'll provide those on weeks where there isn't lore, or maybe I'll do two at a time 1 week to kind of fill in the blanks, and I'll start all the way back at once. So I'll go like 41, 1, 42, 2, that kind of thing. So let's begin. I'll try to voice act as much as possible. 4 squabbling voices. Children who found a blade in the darkness and now think themselves warriors. Oh no. Okay, we've already been whatchamacallited. Interrupted. Okay, back into it. 4 squabbling voices. Children who found a blade in the darkness and now think themselves warriors. They argue below me. Doubt, anger, and, yes, fear. Let them deny it in their pride. It will consume them all in the end. It always does. Vara's halfway down the torch-lined hallway before Eileen calls after her. Vara. It isn't quite a command, but her tone carries the familiar weight of a clan mother turned queen. Vara pauses but does not turn. Talir and Caleb have gone, leaving mother and daughter alone as night falls. Rethink this, Eileen continues, her voice hard. This isn't our way. Our way. Her mother may rule in Argenport, but she has never understood it. We aren't doing anything, Vara snaps. That's the problem. We ignore the world outside our walls. Eileen sighs. That's not what I meant. That's not what I mean. The queen runs a hand through her hair. She sounds tired. You look so much like him. Vara blinks. What? Eileen nods. You have the set of his jaw, the iron in his gaze, and you hold yourself like he used to. Her tone grows wry. Both so sure that you are right. Vara opens her mouth to reply, but Eileen holds up a hand with a sad smile. Let me say my piece, then I'll leave you for the night. The first time I brought the clans to Argenport's gates, I came as a warrior. Argenport had great stores of grain and vaults filled with more wealth than any dragon's hoard. With the clans united and our serpent riders leading the charge, we were strong enough to take what we wanted. Caiaphas met us on the battlefield and saw that, so he made me a different offer. Eileen is far away in the past, We are stronger together. That's what he said. The same thing I had told the clans when they rallied to my banner. The same thing I told the city when I took my throne a second time. It's still true. For our cities, our people, and for the four of us who remain. She turns her gaze to Vara once again. Your father claimed the throne's power by himself, as his by right, and disaster followed. This isn't a decision to make alone. We are stronger together. Vara stares at her for a long moment. With a single nod, she replies, I will consider it, and turns to leave. Torches gutter. The old queen is drained. I reach for her, and the shadows sigh. Your child is lost to you. You cannot save her. And in her heart she knows it to be true. As Vara makes her way toward her chamber, she is intercepted by a messenger in gleaming mail. Lady Vara, he says with a shallow bow, your aunt wishes to speak with you. Vara rolls her eyes. Very well, let's get this over with. Talir's study is a mess of dusty scrolls and scribbled notes. Her father's ageless sister floats gently above a chair piled with books, eyes closed in meditation. The throne is too dangerous, she says, bluntly, without opening her eyes, and you are not as strong as my brother was. Direct. Vara had never been close to her aunt, but she always appreciated her bluntness. I am not afraid. Talir shakes her head, the dismissive gesture of a scholar and teacher. This isn't about bravery, child. This is about survival. When I went into the Waystone, I was not afraid, but I should have been. Her voice is dreamy. The Queen of Glass awakened me to a sliver of reality, like the ending of a dream, where you know yourself to be dreaming but have not yet woken. Her aunt had always been fond of cryptic prophecies, too. Vara was not in the mood. The Queen of Glass, was it? Talir's eyes fly open, glowing with pearly light. Have I not introduced you? No, perhaps that hasn't happened yet. The light fades, and Talir drifts downward, displacing the stack of tomes as she settles wearily into her chair. She seems an old woman now, and tired beyond her years. Talir blinks up at Vara with kind, confused smile. Her mind is a tangled briar of what was and what will be, and she is caught in the thorns of her own discoveries. I whisper, do you remember? Do you remember what happens next? Slowly, Talir turns to Vara and says with quiet concern, No. I'm trying, but I can't. Can't what? Vara's had enough of Talir's wanderings for one evening. I'm turning in. We can talk in the morning. She hesitates, then reaches out to squeeze her aunt's papery hand. Talir does not notice when she leaves. The throne room is dark as Vara enters, silent until someone laughs. Ha 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 ha. Thought you might come back. This one puts on a good front, but it is a lie. Caleb, sitting on a step below the throne, a flask held in one hand. Are you here? Are you here to try and talk me out of it too? Oh, whoops, the wrong voice. Are you here to try to talk me out of it too? She demands. Nah, he grins. Figure you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do. The smile sharpens as he adds, but I'm here to warn you. Oh, Vara raises an eyebrow. This is the time for action. You and I both know that, Caleb replies. We need to be bold, to use what we have, not to hide like old women in a tower. He rises, pulling back the side of his duster to let his hand rest near the grip of his shotgun. If you're up for doing what needs to be done, stop talking about it and get on with it. His eyes flash and his voice loses the friendly tone. And if not, there's others better suited to this life, others who were born to it. Vara's voice goes cold and quiet. Is it finally time? Caleb gives her an easy smile, chuckles as he rises. Haven't you heard? We've got plenty of time until the world goes dark. He swaggers past her and out into the night. He stalks the corridors, seething. Why should it be her? I murmur. You were first. You were made for this. I reach for his heart, but it is closed to me. His rage is not the anger of an overlooked son. He is more than that, and less. He is fascinating. And then Vara is alone in the throne room. There is hunger in her eyes as she looks up towards me. In the silence, I speak for the first time since arriving in this place, my voice indistinguishable from the secret thoughts pounding into her brain. He is weak. He has not survived half of what you triumphed over. None of them have. Vara blinks, head tilting as she finally hears me. In a flash, her face darkens and her eyes glow with a dangerous light. I will not be manipulated. Never again. Striding up the steps, the shadows seem to twist around her. She commands them, drawing in her rage as she reaches out towards me. I grin. Yes. No, she snarls. This is my throne, on my terms, and neither you nor any of them will deny that to me. The room is bathed in sudden, blinding light as Vara claims the eternal throne. And we are one. Thank you for joining me in this eternal lore. I really enjoyed reading it, and I can't wait for the next one. This is, for the record, the first time that I had read this. So I'm going to start posting these on Sundays, kind of like a more relaxed day, just kind of listen to the story and experiencing the story. So thanks for coming along and joining me on this adventure into the eternal lore. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and think that this is the kind of thing you'd want to see more of.